Triple H and Stephanie McMahon have split up. Well, well, well. Will they remain friends? I guess that remains to be seen. Hi everybody, it's the Ruthless Jobber here. Welcome back to the channel. This is our invasion save using TEW 9. I've forgotten what episode number it is, so let's just crack on, shall we? Started off with a couple of pre-show matches. We tried to sort of involve some of the WCW guys in these because we're not going full on with WCW guys in the ring yet. Maybe, here and there we have or we will, but, let's kind of build it a little bit. So, first pre-show match, Jindrak and Stasiak take on K-Quick and Steve Blackman. Didn't have much heat, terrible wrestling, but it's K-Quick and Steve Blackman getting the win in 15 minutes 10. Steve Blackman submitted Sean Stasiak. 44 wrestling, 46 crowd, 48 overall. William Regal takes on Taka Michinoku. Yeah, this isn't a WCW versus WWF match, this one, but yeah, just wanted to put it on really. Didn't have anywhere else for Regal. I thought I might get something better out of this match, actually. Taka Michinoku is a good talent, and Regal's pretty awesome in the ring. Oh, they didn't click, though, which obviously didn't help. But we had a decent reaction from the crowd. Subpar wrestling. William Regal got the win in 14 minutes 11 by pinfall. 48 wrestling rating, 51 crowd, and 53 overall. And the final pre-show match is a Battle Royal. Now, I've been thinking recently, I don't do enough Battle Royals. I don't think I've ever done a Battle Royal on one of my YouTube saves. So I do intend to maybe have one soonish on the main show, if I remember, on one of my saves. Don't know which one yet. Just to sort of make things a bit different. I don't know if they do battle royals these days. Do they? I don't watch wrestling anymore, so I really don't know. But what did we get here then? Pre-show match: Rob Van Dam won the battle royal in 21 minutes 37. They've got the order of elimination there, but I didn't. I didn't choose that myself. I just let the AI do that one. It also doesn't show you everyone, does it? Or does it? How many's there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, I thought it. I didn't think it showed everyone there, but it does. Fantastic. Yeah, so we've got 59 wrestling, 58 crowd, 67 overall. This is full of just recognisable and unimportant. Might be a couple of well-knowns in there, but we didn't go full on. We really wanted this just to be an undercard pre-show match. Into the main show then. We open with Jim Ross and Paul Heyman, our commentary team, just sort of opening the show, working the crowd, and they talk about tonight's main event. It is a King of the Ring quarter-final between Kurt Angle and Bradshaw. I'm taking a risk having that as the main event, but I thought, why not? Kurt Angle, hopefully, he can kind of have a match with anyone and we'll still get something pretty decent out of that. Yeah, I realised I was going through the previous shows, and I think out of every Raw I've done so far, there's only one in which Kane isn't in the main event. So I thought, wow, okay, let's do something a little bit different then. And I thought, how about have Kurt Angle in the main event? And then I realised he needs to have his quarter-final match for the King of the Ring. So yeah, put it in there. So what did we get? 68 overall for this segment. The first broadcast match of the night is between the Big Show and Taz. Don't think I've used Taz yet. Never really known a lot about him. Never really been a fan. Probably because of my bias against short wrestlers. I'm sure he was a great talent, but know nothing about him. But we had good heat, decent wrestling. Big Show defeated Taz in 6 minutes 13 by pinfall. We had Canyon run in and attack the Big Show just to keep that storyline going a little bit. The wrestling rating of 61, crowd 70, and 65 overall. The Rock then comes out and he cuts a promo on Scott Steiner and Sting. Last week, The Rock teamed with Kane and they took on these two WCW guys. They won by DQ, but The Rock is basically saying, it's typical of WCW trying to cheat their way to victory. Well, this time you got caught and you lost the match, but that's not how we want to do things. We want to beat you properly. We want to beat you in the centre of the ring. 1, 2, 3. He also sort of talks about Sting and how he grew up watching Sting and, he was an absolute hero. And now what have you done? You've just completely gone against everything that you've believed in. You're a disgrace. Putting Sting over, really. I used to love you. You were great. You were awesome. And then obviously just then get the heat on him. You've turned your back on everything you've believed in. And then we have part 2 was Scott Steiner and Sting come out and attack The Rock, kind of sneak up on him maybe, or just come out, cut a little bit of a promo, then attack him. And then we have Kane come out to make the save. So overall of 78, and the storyline advanced. Dave Power and Dean Power take on X Factor. These two guys are not going to be a permanent team, despite the fact that they obviously, have the same name and they look like they should be a proper team, but they are just jobbers. But we got an abysmal match here. I just wanted to give the X Factor something. I wanted to give Six something really. So what did we get? Is he Six? No, he's X Pac in this in the WWF, isn't he? So yeah, X Factor get the win in 8 minutes 38. X Pac pinned Dean Power with an X marks the spot. This was our high spots match, probably where I went wrong. Probably just thinking of Just Incredible and X Pac there. Yeah, Dave Power and Dean Power probably don't have any skills there. 34 wrestling and 35 crowd, 47 overall. Yeah, really bad. I kind of realised when I did it that I messed up and probably shouldn't have had this as the high spots match. But I need to have 3 match aims, and I really didn't see anything else. So, well, you live and learn. We've then got a WCW promo on the WWF. So I've kind of used most of the WCW guys that aren't involved elsewhere on the card. There's a couple here that are involved elsewhere on the card, but I've also used them in here. But you might notice there's a Sting's missing, possibly a couple of others. But yeah, it's just a WCW promo on the WWF, just to kind of get a lot of these stories. I mean, unfortunately, they've lost heat. We didn't get a great rating for this. But yeah, just to advance a couple of these, all of the stories in one go. So yeah, that's kind of my thinking. Again, you live and learn. Maybe it's the wrong way to go. 61 overall, and a couple of the stories, as I say, did lose heat, which is unfortunate. Matt Hardy gets an opportunity to defend his European Championship against the Big Boss Man. I don't think I've used the Boss Man either yet. If I have, it's sort of just only in a throwaway match. So we had decent reaction from the crowd. Subpar wrestling. Matt Hardy defeated Big Boss Man in 14 minutes 29 by pinfall. Matt Hardy makes defense number 2 of the WWF European title. Yeah, you never really think I'm gonna have a belt like this change hands without any build up. But having said that, maybe one day I will, just to sort of give that little element of surprise and anything can happen. But yeah, so what do we get here? Wrestling 53, 60 for the crowd, and 62 overall. Yeah, nothing spectacular, but just get Matt Hardy on the card, and as I say, use the Boss Man. Edge comes out with his tag team partner Christian, and he just kind of cuts a little bit of a promo. Christian next week will be involved in a quarterfinal for the King of the Ring, and Edge comes out and says, "I'm so confident that my partner here will win his quarterfinal match. He'll be in the King of the Ring semi-final at the King of the Ring pay-per-view. Therefore, Edge and Christian will not be involved in tag team action. I want a singles match. If my partner here is going to have a singles match, I want a singles match. Open challenge. Who thinks they can beat me one-on-one?" And to answer the call is Chris Jericho. We wanted to just give Jericho a match at the King of the Ring that doesn't sort of involve any of the top guys and doesn't really involve anyone that he's in a storyline with. That's not to say we won't advance the storyline there, but that's just kind of the route I wanted to go. I also think Jericho and Edge might get a decent rating for something like that. So what do we get? 70, which isn't too bad. Christian was superb working without a script, and Chris Jericho improvised well as well. Good stuff. Raven takes on Val Venus. Yeah, another undercard match really, just to get Raven on the card. And so what did we get? Decent reaction from the crowd, subpar wrestling. Raven defeated Val Venus in 8 minutes 35 by pinfall. This was a car crash. Again, need to use 3 match aims and struggled a little bit to kind of think where I should go and who with. And that's kind of what I had left in my mind really. So it was full of crazy moves and dangerous bumps. And, Raven being a bit of a hardcore guy, yeah, kind of fit. Maybe not so much for Val Venus, but I don't know a lot about him really. So the wrestling rating was 53, the crowd rating was 57, and we get a 64 overall. I'm not overconfident this show is going to get a massive rating. 56 for this segment as well. So this is the Mick Foley's party getting ruined. This is where the storyline name comes from, and I probably should have had it right at the beginning of the angle, but I completely forgot. Basically, Mick Foley is celebrating the successful book launch. I did actually check when his first book came out, and you know what? It was May this year. So how close was that? I would have had to just say, oh, he did a book, in our world. I know he didn't do one till whatever, but no, it actually matches up the timeline. And yeah, he's got a few WWF superstars with him, but the main ones we're concentrating on. He's chatting with The Rock and the Dudley Boys. And we wanted to get The Rock in there, get a bit of star power, hopefully boost that rating. Didn't help too much though. But then The Rock says, "Right, I must go. Sorry guys, I've got things to do." So then part two is basically where we've got Chuck Palumbo, Sean O'Hare, and Diamond Dallas Page just come in and ruin the party. Just start trashing the place, start attacking the Dudleys and Foley, and then we have the Hardy Boys come out to make the save. So just to sort of develop that storyline. Didn't gain heat, unfortunately, but plenty of green there. Lots of people doing well off script. So yeah, 56, yeah, nothing special, but at least the storyline didn't lose heat. And then the Dudley Boys take on Nathan Jones and Simon Diamond. So that promo was kind of say a promo, the taped angle. It was a few days ago. It was taped. It was like, let's go back and show you something that happened at Mick Foley's, book launch. And then we come back to the ring, and now the Dudley Boys are in action. So yeah, in an abysmal match, this is the second abysmal match of the night. Dudley Boys defeated Nathan Jones and Simon Diamond in 7 minutes 16 when Bubba Day Rudley when Bubba Ray Dudley pinned Nathan Jones. Nathan Jones was the weak link. Yeah, I'm not intending to push him in any way whatsoever. He is just a jobber. Again, our tag teams struggle at the moment until we. In an ideal world, right? I'd have 3 or 4 tag teams that are all major stars. We don't have that, so we're gonna suffer. Our tag team matches are gonna suffer. 39 wrestling rating, 35 crowd, 52 overall. We've got gimmick changes, but these are just going to be for the jobbers. Nathan Jones got great. He can look dominant, but we'll say I'm not interested in using him at all. Simon Diamond boosts the star quality. Okay. Then we've got Steve Austin and Triple H with Stephanie backstage. And as I showed you at the beginning of this episode, Stephanie and Triple H have split up. So I was a little bit worried booking this that I might get the I'm not doing an angle with Stephanie. I hate her, or whatever. But we didn't get that. How if they can remain friends, remains to be seen. But yeah, and it's just Steve Austin's just furious that Chris Benoit got in his face last week, and he would love to do something with Benoit. I'd love to really kick his ass. Rating of 80. I'm kind of struggling a little bit to fit Austin and Triple H in. I said this, I think I mentioned it a little bit in the last episode. They're not involved in the WCW feud yet. And that is because, and I did explain this, all of the WCW guys are heels. And these two are heels. That doesn't, I know I do have some heel versus heel storylines. But I just want Steve Austin, for the moment, just to keep going up against WWF guys that are faces. And the same probably goes for Triple H. So at the moment, yeah, just kind of struggling to fit them in the show, because at the moment we are kind of all about the invasion stuff. But a rating of 80 gives a boost to this show. And the storyline, it advanced, but didn't gain or lose heat. And then Chris Benoit is in action as he takes on Albert. I'm pleased with this one. 68 wrestling, 72 crowd, 80 overall. This was our wild brawl. We had good heat and decent wrestling. Chris Benoit defeated Albert in 9 minutes 49 by submission. Everyone knows I'm a bit of a fan of Albert, and I'd like to push him a little bit. But also Chris Benoit, who I am using properly, and he's got or he will have, a title match against Steve Austin at King of the Ring. So kind of, let's keep his momentum going a little bit. But yeah, certainly pleased with this. Rating of 80 overall, which is really good, and should give Chris Benoit a little bit more momentum going into King of the Ring. Post-match, just a very quick kind of segment with Chris, focusing on Chris Benoit. And he's kind of doing that thing. I didn't really know how to explain it. Where they sort of move their hands across their waist as if they're, holding a belt as if they're putting a belt on or something like that. So that's kind of what Chris Benoit's doing, indicating that, he wants a shot at Austin's belt. 53 though, because Chris Benoit's he's not got the best entertainment skills in the world, but okay, kind of got the message across that, he wants that title shot. And as I've just explained, he will be getting that at King of the Ring. Main event, wow. Okay, it paid off. Yeah, pleased with this one. In a good match, Kurt Angle defeated Bradshaw in 15 minutes 11 by submission after blatantly cheating. So yeah, this was a quarter-final for King of the Ring, so the current holder is still in it and will advance to the semis. 74 wrestling, 76 crowd, 84 overall. Certainly helped the show, but we've had a few duds this week, so I don't really know what we're going to get. Not every show can be the best. Every TV show ever, doesn't matter what the genre, doesn't matter what the sport, they can't all be great. So let's see what we get. Fingers crossed for something half decent though. 80, oh, do you know what? Pleasantly surprised and really pleased at getting an 80 there. Wasn't expecting that. I was expecting the worst case scenario, high 60s, but I was expecting low 70s really. Very pleased with that one. I'm going to end it here rather than go backstage today because there's not really much else I want to go through. Actually, what I will do is just go through the quick financial report. What did we make? Yeah, just over 200,000. Popularity recap. It was only one region this week, wasn't it? Central Europe. Okay, fine. Yeah. Can't can't complain at all, really. We're trying to get up there. We need a few more major stars. Well, I don't know. We've got a few major stars. Probably need one or two more. Once the invasion kicks in properly as well, though, and we start getting a few WCW versus WWF guys, or a few more, should I say? That's when things are going to really get going. And tag teams, desperate to get a few more, major star tag teams. So we'll end it here. Don't really have much to do backstage. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all again soon. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.